Amal Clooney, another highly motivated political operator. In her case, doubtless she will use this to raise more funds for the Clooney Foundation and to burnish her own credentials in some other way. But if you just consider what they've done there, first of all, these preposterous so-called judges and lawyers have done no on-the-ground research, nothing original. They haven't been into Gaza. They haven't been in any of the areas of the fighting. So when they say we find that Benjamin Netanyahu could have overseen murder in a war zone, they don't even know that it has happened. I mean, I suspect there is some killing in a war zone. It strikes me as being kind of de rigueur, and that's why Hamas shouldn't have started a war.
Hello everyone, I greet you in the name of God Almighty. My name is Apostle Silas, and today we have a very interesting video to react to, and it's a video of Douglas Murray, who's called Alma Colley, concerning the warrant arrest of Benjamin Netanyahu by the International Criminal Court. I believe that this is going to be a very interesting video, because according to Douglas Murray, International Criminal Court does not represent what it stands for. So without any further ado, let's get down to this video and check this out.
Well, we have a list of the experts who back the ICC warrants against Israel. The panel includes international law and human rights expert Danny Friedman, British House of Lords member Helena Kennedy, and British Lebanese barrister and human rights lawyer Amal Clooney, who posted a statement on the website of the Clooney Foundation for Justice. She wrote, "We unanimously conclude that there are reasonable grounds to believe that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant have committed war crimes and crimes against humanity, including starvation as a method of warfare, murder, persecution and extermination. I served on this panel because I believe in the rule of law and the need to protect civilian lives." Douglas, what's your response to that?
These are all more preposterous political ideologues pretending to be cool, level-minded lawyers. Helena Kennedy is a far left-wing career political operative in the UK. She spent her whole life campaigning for loony left causes and giving them some legal patina. Amal Clooney, another highly motivated political operator. In her case, doubtless she will use this to raise more funds for the Clooney Foundation and to burnish her own credentials in some other way. But if you just consider what they've done there, first of all, these preposterous so-called judges and lawyers have done no on-the-ground research, nothing original. They haven't been into Gaza. They haven't been in any of the areas of the fighting. So when they say we find that Benjamin Netanyahu could have overseen murder in a war zone, they don't even know that it has happened. I mean, I suspect there is some killing in a war zone. It strikes me as being kind of de rigueur, and that's why Hamas shouldn't have started a war. But the other thing these people have done is, as I said earlier, Khan decided to go for the one Jewish state in the world, but he waited and did it at the same time as going for, or claiming that he's going to go for, Sinwar, the Hamas leader who planned and organized the 7th of October massacres. So what he's doing is this neat political, I would say even Islamist ideological thing, which is if you can't get through in the way you want, you pretend there is moral parity between Hamas and the IDF, between Sinwar, who planned the 7th of October atrocities, and Benjamin Netanyahu, whose task it is, the unenviable task of getting the hostages home and punishing the leadership of Hamas. They have just drawn an equivalence between those two things. I think it's, as I say, highly motivated, highly political at best. The whole thing stinks of an agenda. And I would just say that everybody who's just stumbled upon the International Criminal Court should remember, again, it isn't what it says it is. It has no jurisdiction in these matters, and nor should it. If it is agreed that these highly motivated individuals can come for Benjamin Netanyahu and the Minister of Defense Gallant. They will be coming for an Australian Prime Minister next, or a British Home Secretary, or an American Secretary of State, and they have no more right there.
Wow.
You're 100% right there. And then the decision to announce this action against the Hamas leadership and the Israeli Prime Minister and Defence Minister on the same day, it is such a clear political move to put them on the same page, as if there is some equivalence there. It's just transparent.
Pure bigotry. Yeah.
It is, and it's going to work
legally.
Absolutely. Well, this decision by the ICC has been condemned by Israel's strongest allies. We've had the United States come out strongly, the United Kingdom, but sadly, our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, has been shamefully weak on this issue, and his Foreign Minister, Penny Wong, I'd argue, has been even worse. Let's hear from the Prime Minister first.
Well, I don't comment on court processes in Australia, let alone court processes globally, of which Australia is not a party.
Apparently he can't make any comment on court cases overseas. Just a few minutes later, he made comment on the Julian Assange case, which is happening overseas. So he couldn't even stay consistent there. But his Foreign Minister, Penny Wong, used her department to issue a statement expressing support for the ICC. The statement said Australia respects the ICC and the important role it has in upholding international law. The decision on whether to issue arrest warrants is a matter for the court. Douglas, Australia's response seems not just weak but unprincipled compared to what we've seen from the UK and the US.
Well, first of all, don't be so sure that the US and UK are so principled on this. I think there's a political game going on here, and the Biden administration would be perfectly happy to give over Netanyahu in order to get a preferred candidate. So there's a lot of different types of politics going on. And in the UK, the Labour Party, who are likely to be the overwhelming party of government in Britain later this year, their idiot representative actually welcomed the ruling. So that would be British policy too. As for Albanese and Wong, I mean, they can console themselves, and certainly Wong can console herself, that she is on exactly the same side as Hamas leader Khalid Mashal. Let me just read you quickly what Khalid Mashal said earlier this week in a speech. He said that it's extremely important to annihilate the Zionists for the good of humanity, and that being far away from a zone of jihad does not mean that you are absolved from carrying out jihad. He says that the Al-Aqsa flood, which is what he and his friends in Hamas call the 7th of October massacre, he said the Al-Aqsa flood must be followed by, and has been followed by, quote, the great student flood. All of those students on Western campuses, they're doing what the head of Hamas is wanting them to do. He said we need a media flood. Well, Khalid Mashal's got the media flood all the way from the New York Times to Al Jazeera. He says then we need a legal flood, such as the incidents and the attempts to use The Hague. He's also said, of course, that we need jihad and resistance and a jihad flood. So Wong can console herself, like all of those wrong-headed students on various campuses who've made common cause with Hamas. They're on exactly the same page, lockstep with one of the people who planned the 7th of October massacre. I hope they're proud of themselves. History will be horrible to them.
That's a very interesting video, listening to Douglas, of course, giving us the breakdown of the happening between the Hamas and then Israel. But then, therefore, let's look at the warrant given by International Criminal Court, then issuing a warrant against Benjamin Netanyahu of him committing genocide in Palestine. First of all, let's look at this holistically. Let's look at the cost of all these problems. Let's look at what that happened at the October 7, whereby the Jews were being slaughtered by the Hamas. By now, I should be thinking, or I should be seeing the International Criminal Court issuing arrest of the head of Hamas. But you could see Marshall, you understand, still giving a press conference, posting and then saying so many things, you understand, without even, you understand, this International Criminal Court, you understand, issuing his arrest, you understand, for what he did, you understand, to the Jews in the October 7. I am not saying that, of course, I am supporting Benjamin Netanyahu is doing, but first of all, let's look at the cause of all these problems, because we cannot fix a problem without looking at, you understand, the cause of it. First of all, let's look at October 7. What did the Hamas, you understand, do to the Jews? You see, they were attacked, and in the process of it, of course, hostages, people were taken, in a sense, hostages, and according to Israel, they feels like some women, in a sense, got raped, in a sense, in the process. So what do you want Benjamin Netanyahu to do as their prime minister? And of course, what is being expected of everyone is to go after those people, you understand, they were held hostage. Those ones, in a sense, that have died, of course, they have died. But of course, let's go for those ones, in a sense, the hostage. And then that is the reasons why Israel decided to evade, in a sense, Palestine in search of the hostages. Since they knew that it was Hamas that carried out, in a sense, that very attack, and in the process of it, that resulted of them, in a sense, started attacking, in a sense, Hamas. And then since Hamas decided to build some of their bunkers where there are civilians, and then therefore people, in a sense, end up becoming, in a sense, casualty. But nevertheless, not to say that, in a sense, I am taking side of anyone, but all, in a sense, I could say is that at least they could have looked at the cost of it. Now, why can't the International Criminal Court give a warrant for the arrest of Khalid Marshall? Now, Khalid Marshall, in a sense, is this there even giving, in a sense, a lot of press conferences? But then, let's look at this. Have International, in a sense, Criminal Court ever give a warrant, in a sense, of a head of state and the person was duly, in a sense, arrested? If yes, then what is happening to the Russian president? What is happening to Iran? Have those, in a sense, order, in a sense, been honored before? So how is this going to be possible in this situation of Netanyahu? And even if, in a sense, it were to be possible, it's not until after he leave office. So as now that he is still in the office and in the middle of war, can such, in a sense, warrant be enforced? Of course, all these things, in a sense, are debatable. And of course, at the comment section, you can all give your thought and opinion, in a sense, concerning this. But then I could feel that if justice will be served, then I feel that even the leader of the Hamas should have, you understand, they should also, you understand, issue a warrant, you understand, arrest, in a sense, of him. But you don't expect him to be moving, in a sense, about. Nevertheless, I am not supporting Netanyahu, but I am saying that Marshall too should, you understand, be arrested. And I know this for sure, that if, you understand, Hamas did not attack, you understand, Israel, that is at the October 7, I believe that all this war could have been avoided. So I feel that the way forward is for Hamas, in a sense, to release the hostages so that Israel can also, you understand, back out from this war. I believe that it is peace that all these countries or all these nations, in a sense, really need, because war, nobody actually, in a sense, win in a war. And if you attack someone, you don't need to predict or feels that the person is going to maybe probably retaliate in an equal measure. And that's why I've always said that what action and reaction are equal and opposite. To every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So as you attack somebody, you are responsible for your own action, but you can't be responsible for the person's reaction, because you don't know how the person is going to hit you hard, which is what we are experiencing nowadays in the situation of Israel and Palestine. Well, your thought and opinion are all welcome at the comment section. Of course, we have listened to Douglas Murray. We have also listen to the position of Amal, and of course some could feel that all these things are being done, in a sense, politically, and that's why you see some of the world leaders, some of them support and some of them decide to stay neutral concerning what that is happening. Example is Australia. I believe that as this development, in a sense, keep unfolding, of course we will be hearing different people giving their thought and opinion concerning some of these things. So you remain blessed, and I see you in my next video. Bye-bye.